welcome back everyone. Today we would be in conversation with Mr. Rahul Potghan, who is currently working as a cloud engineer at Amazon Web Services, Dublin, Ireland. He has done his schooling from Pune itself, diploma in computer science, and he has pursued his bachelor's in engineering in information technology from JSPM Rajarshi Shahu College of Engineering. After that, he had been working at Persistent Systems as a senior system engineer as full-time, and then went for his master's in information technology from Institute of Technology, Carlow, Ireland, which is the second largest technology institute in Ireland. Currently, he is working as the cloud engineer at Amazon Web Services, Dublin, Ireland. He is skilled in OpenStack, Cloud Application Administrator, AWS services, and also team management. Welcome, Rahul.
Hey everyone, thanks a lot guys having me here today. It's a really great pleasure having back on such a platform. I can remember those days where I was a part of various teams like training and placement, all the stuff. So I really enjoyed that particular part. And I really like the idea that you are going through using this virtual platform very well. And that time we were in a college, so we didn't get that much chances, but I think this is a really good thing you guys are doing at this moment, because nowadays, just because of virtualization and the internet, a lot of things are getting easy now, and you guys are really using it in very good way. So I'm again glad to be here.
Yeah, our pleasure, Rahul, always. So Rahul, let's get to your journey till masters. All right, yeah. You would be a little formal and yet casual. Okay, you don't want anything to be purely right. Okay. This is a senior talking to a junior. I'm into third year computer engineering, so probably I'm also your junior. So this junior senior talk does not need to be heated on one topic or so. So let's come to the very first question, that is your journey. Coming to JSPM as a direct second year student, how did it feel, and why engineering as a field was chosen by you, and that too in technology?
Okay, good question actually. So starts with my engineering part. So I did my diploma from PCP college, that's Akudi. And to be honest with you, starts with the computer journey. It was completely my mother's plan actually, because when I choose my field, that time I asked my mother what field I should go. So she told me that you should go for computer. So that's how this all started, because I didn't have that long goal, what's to be taken or not. Then I took the diploma, and after 3 years, I got a direct second year admission in the RSCOE. And again, it was a really great, really good story behind that, because my mother and father used to like this college a lot, because it was a school type. Like you need to go every day, teacher will take a follow-up and all those stuff. So they were so happy when I got the admission there only. And even though I also liked, because I was that kind of student actually. So we started with a second year engineering, and the main thing for me was I was tackling with English a little bit, I would say, coming from Marathi background to directly sudden into the English was tough for me. But somehow I went through it. It was really great. And the main thing in the engineering we go through is the mathematics, M1, M2, M3, all the stuff. So, but God grace, I was really good at with the maths. So it was good for me actually. But the one thing we missed in that particular in that particular zone is when we were in engineering, we didn't have this cloud computing and all the syllabus like ML, AI was not there actually. So if you see the Alexa, Google Home, all the stuff were on the IEEE paper. So we used to go through it. That time it was only just a paper. Nothing else was nothing was practical. So I clearly remember that was a really good thing actually. So the things we were saying on the paper is currently implemented, and it is making a huge impact or differences in current lives. So that was a really good thing. Other thing, the teachers and everything was so supportive in terms of education, everything. I know back in 2013, 14, 15, the syllabus was completely different. the teaching pattern was so different, and it was a face-to-face. And currently, due to COVID, a lot of things are changed. Everybody knows a lot of things now. So basically, if you find out the time, you will learn everything by yourself. You don't, now people realize that you don't need a teacher to learn the things. Actually, you need a teacher to just go in a certain way. Like if the teacher will guide you what's to be done or what's not to be done. Otherwise, you have all the things available to be done. That's my honest opinion, I guess. So because every YouTube is there, the lots of like we can say courses are there where you can just go pay and do whatever you want. Also, now people understand the importance of virtual as well. So I think everybody is taking care of their career nowadays. It's very easy actually. But the only thing is you need to be focused and concentrate on what you really wanted to do in a life. That's the only thing. But the college, those days were so good. Like we were used to like doing the events like impact and all the stuff. So I was leading one of the, so we were doing a blind coding of event, so which was really good actually. So I was head of that particular event. We used to like put the we used to, okay, it's off the screen and then you have to write the code and everything. After 2-3 minutes you have to start the screen and see how much things you can resolve, and based on that we used to give a part. So I think it was a really good thing and journey. And the other thing is the training and placement sale was really good. Like we really enjoyed that particular stuff for the last 1 year. Like we were a team of around like 9 to 10 people, but it was a really good like, and so it was a really great experience, I would say, with the RSCOE.
Absolutely. How good were you at your technical skills? I mean, being into information technology, you are meant to code. You are meant to be a programmer somewhere, because now people are being clear that coding is just a small aspect of being into computer. But probably when someone says that I'm into computers, everyone says this one thing, that tomorrow you have to be a software engineer. But we know that that is not the truth. So how good were you as far as that question goes with your coding?
Actually, this is a really good question. Actually, that came to my mind just now. When we talk about the IT or computer, people just think about a software engineer, but it's not a software engineer only. Not everyone is good at the developer skills or like that one. Somebody like the management, somebody like managing the things, virtual part. There are a lot of fields you can go through. Initially, like, see, the thing is, currently, you guys have a lot of resources to get to know about where you have to go. When we were there, it was a start of the computer era, I would say, because when we took the admission, that time computer was like started booming. Earlier, like mechanical and the automobile was a field where people used to go, and we know the scenario right now. So looking at that IT field, so basically I'm not a good developer. Actually, I don't like the coding and all the stuff, and I love to work on the cloud part only. Why cloud is like managing, doing billing part. Nowadays, even though if you're a developer, nowadays people are expecting that you should not develop the code, you should manage the operations as well, because that is a demand of industry now. If earlier used to people have only Java skill, they used to do only Java coding and they just go with that. But nowadays the thing is like, so earlier, like people used to, if they have one skill, they used to survive for 10-15 years easily. Nobody will touch them. But today, if you only go with a one skill, you will be out of the market within a 6 or 1 year, I would say. Everybody will ask you at least go for certain platforms like Java, plus you just go for any cloud technology, or you just go with some front end or any database. So nowadays, most of the people, if you say most of the people, when you talk about the full stack, now it is very big term, or it's a very new term to the industry now. It's a full stack, right? So full stack consists of like your front end, back end, cloud, and the DevOps rule. So basically, you manage everything about starting from coding, deploying, managing, and support. So that's the thing now. So DevOps is a new role, then full stack. So basically, like when it comes to you guys or for us, so for us, we used to focus on only one language. Like you go do for .NET or Java or Python. Python is in demand currently just because of the DevOps, or you say bots. That's the reason. But earlier, people used to do only Java or .NET. So that was a booming field, and SQL and everything. But I think in today's world, you need to have at least one front end, one back end, and one Java or something like that, or one cloud platform. These things three, if you do, you will get the really good jobs. But when we talk about this technology, if being a fresher, just focus on a one to two things only. Once you get a start experiences, simultaneously you can learn a lot of things. There are a lot of things, and instead of focusing on a multiple things, like current trend is for the Python or DevOps, but initially you should focus on only at least one skill at a time. One, so like if you know the Java programming language, go for that, and if you know the SQL, just go for that. At least do the two things. And cloud platform, they are always it. So for all the cloud platform, the concept is same, only terms are different, but the base concept is some completely same for all. It's GCP, Azure, or the AWS. The concept is really same. That thing you can do. And see, there is no only software engineering. There are a lot of things, like you can go for operations, managing the middlewares, front end, back ends. There are plenty of opportunities in a single IT company. You will find all the streams like BCom, commerce, science, scientist, ML, deep learning, all the stuff is there. But identify your strength, where you really looking for interest. Let's say if you really like to managing the things, you can go for any certification for management, like let's say you like administrator, so you can go for any cloud administrator part, like where you will see the resources, managing the resources. You don't have to do any coding for that. So you just need to familiar with how the UI looks, what are the user services, how you can optimize the billing. So at this moment, when we got the COVID, that time, most of the company ask for the cost optimization. So for that particular part, I was a part of one of the project for the persistent, and where I was looking after the project. So they asked like we have to minimize the cost. So that time around, what the project I did was I was saving around like $500 per month. But for that particular, it was a huge cost. So likewise, situation differs your scenarios and your conditions. So based on that, so nowadays everybody needs to be taken care. Like when you comes to the DevOps or the full stack, you need to familiar with the AWS, Azure. So you need to manage the resources. Nobody will tell you, you just go to this dashboard, then do this. You have to learn by yourself. So this is the changing trend you will see in the coming days, that you need to at least have one front-end language, one back-end language, and one cloud platform. And why one cloud platform? Because I can see just now, everybody from my network or junior, senior, everybody have been asked like you need to learn the AWS or any one cloud platform. So because everything is going to be migrate on the cloud. So down the line of next 10, 15 years, you will see lot of changes. So go with AWS. It's not that difficult. Like AWS or Azure, it's not that difficult actually. Whatever you do on your computer, the same thing, or you do on a virtual thing. So if you want to do the POC, like suppose you have one idea in your mind and you want to develop something. So if you don't have that resource available, simply go to the like Azure or in AWS account, where you will get some free credits, build your idea, do the POC, show to someone, and then you get the funding or resources, you will get it. So those are the really good stuff actually.
So do you think that many times it happens that someone does not like coding or programming, or is not that they is not good at their technical skills? So do you think that such people, like such kind of people, actually take like MBA as a second option after being graduated? So do you think that in the industry there is a demand for people who can really manage, and these people have a scope to grow, scope to improve, survive, and sustain?
Okay, absolutely, yes. So it's not about the coding only. As I told you, like there is operation roles, DevOps roles, where you don't have to write the whole code. Scripting is the new thing. So you already have all the resources. You have to just write the workflow or small sort of things code, where you can where it will execute a task. Even though if you are a developer or non-developer, everybody has to do some sort scripting, I would say. Scripting is a new word, I would say. And there are a lot of roles actually. We can say the operation role, then what is other thing role? So you middleware. So in a middleware, you don't really do any coding, but you build the workflows. So likewise, if you go any cloud platform, you will get different services on the dashboard. But how you integrate that, for that you don't need any coding. So basically you have to just configure the things. So that's the one thing you can do. Other one is like, let's say if you know the Linux is very well, or you know the Windows very well, you can do Linux administrator where you don't need any coding. If you do for Windows administrator, you don't need any coding. If you do any application support or application DevOps kind of role, you don't need any coding. But at least you should know the basics in terms of what, like basic in terms of what is the workflow. Now most of the things are getting deployed by DevOps tools, like deployment code pipelines. So code pipelines is all about the configurations. Like earlier people used to, so let's say if you have on a project or any web online website, and where you have to update the content of it. So people used to give the code to the deployment team. They go to the server, they replace the files. But nowadays there are different tools. Git is there, then Jira is there. So these tools, what they do, you just push the code and it will automatically backend. They go to the certain servers, they replace the file automatically. So it's all about the configuration. So that's what also you can do. The configuration is there, administrator is there. See, development is the only one-time activity. Once the product is stable, you need to give the support. Nowadays, every company is asking developer to not develop the things only, but support the things. So it's not all about the developing skills or anything. So nowadays, if you see, if you really wanted to create a bot or something like that, you will get plenty of resources on the Git. It is already available. But you can use the same code to build the new things. So basically, you have to come up with the idea first. Let's say you can see in most of the things now, you are getting a support from chatbots only. Around like 30-40% things getting sorted out on the chatbot, because you type something, it recognize it and it send it back. So it's a machine learning, I think. So like that, if you have something that in your mind that you can enhance the product, or this particular small function will help them to improve the bot, so you come up with the resources, you come up with that. So you have to write the little bit code for that particular function only. You don't have to write the whole code for the bot. So in that code, in that thing, you won't say like you know the coding or you have to be a developer for that. It's a small function that you have to put into it and it will start working. So it will be your own future, or it will be your own feature actually, that you will help to product get into use, like in actual real world. So if you really say the startup is really good going in India, because people are getting a platforms like the cloud. Government is giving the Azure or GCP or AWS subscription for 2-3 years. They pay the bill, they give the alternate like 7,000-8,000 of credit. People use the resources, they build the things, and they do like they give it to the end consumer. And if they like it, people give the funding for them. That's the thing is going on currently.
Right. You said that you were involved into many clubs and activities inside RSCOE. So would you like to tell that how did those activities or those engagements are helping you now in the industry?
Actually, yeah. So that time I didn't imagine that this will really help me a lot in terms of doing a leading leadership and all the stuff. But ultimately, it helps a lot me when I came here actually. So the major difference I will tell you in India and abroad, wherever you go actually, the major difference, Indian people are, I would say, a bit technical. So they are very strict to the technicals. Like they will not ask you other stuff. Maybe things are changed just now, but earlier people used to do the like 3-4 technicals and all the stuff. But when you go to the abroad, the people majorly see you already have experience, so you know the things. But will you be able to manage with our team? Will you be able to cope up with our team? So basically, they check for the behaviors. Then they do the like they read the behavior of other person. Will he able to adjust? Will he able to cope up with the current team? Will he able to manage? So those things matters a lot. Are you able to take a risk, or are you able to manage the things? Because it's about the work. It's not. It's a never ending process. So will you be able to manage the things? So those things definitely help me a lot. So when I used to do all the events at the college, so we used to go to the other colleges for the entries. Then we used to work with the 3-4 people for the managing the events, buying the things, decoration, all the stuff, and teacher was involved. So it was a really great experience that I had. And yes, those things really matters when you go abroad, in terms of managing your own things, how you lead, how you take a lead from existing things, and how you end up doing those things. So these small things definitely help you a lot. Yeah, these are the things, like definitely it matters a lot in your in your like further studies or anything, because when you come abroad, actually the main thing is you are by your own. There is nobody to tell you certain things. If you have already references, that is really good thing. But let's say if you don't have anyone to know, like, then you always go by your own, do your own research, find your own accommodation, you build your network. Networking is what really matters in in any place. That is matters a lot, because like in India, we don't have in other countries, like a company will come to your college and they will hire you. So basically you build your network, you go to the LinkedIn or any platform where you apply for a job, you get shortlisted, and then you give the interviews. So definitely the major thing they will see you in as a how you behave, how you talk, then how you react, or how you are a really good at a team player, and how you can take a risk. So it's not something that if something happens, you will not take a risk. At a certain time, you have to take a risk. So what kind of risk you take, and on what basis, what the consequences you have listed down. So all those stuff. But all the stuff what we did, what I did in college really helped me a lot here when I came here actually.